Welcome. Welcome to another episode of CBN Live, the weekly live show dedicated to cybersecurity.
All right, well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to CBN Live. We are live this morning on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Missed LinkedIn. This morning we are live, and normally I have a script that I make notes on and that I'm prepared to talk about. But this morning I wanted to be a little more. First of all, I'm on my way to a cybersecurity conference. But secondly, I wanted to kind of shoot off the cuff about some legislation and some things that happened yesterday that I don't think people have really thought about. And so I wanted to discuss that on today's group topic. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Earl. I am the owner of EK3 Technologies right here in beautiful downtown Jacksonville. And we are live, so if you want to ask a question, please feel free to do so. As it says, your questions can be answered live right here in the chat. And we are live every Tuesday at, every Thursday at 10:30. So what I wanted to talk about today was TikTok, and I'm going to go ahead and throw Temu in there as well, and why these are dangerous apps for you to have on your phone. Now, I've talked to a lot of people. I personally don't have TikTok, but I've talked to a lot of people about TikTok and why the information that TikTok captures is dangerous. And this is not a political thing. This is something for you to think about. And it's also something for you to think about on every app that you download. Now, I just recently got a new device. So I have actually been going through some of the permissions and settings for all of the different apps. And I'm very surprised every time that I load a new app at the permissions that it needs. But I think it's very important that as professionals and as users of these devices, that we think about what information is being captured. One of the most difficult things with TikTok and Temu, for that matter. So if you use Temu, that's another one that's been on the chopping block, is both of those apps are owned by someone in the Chinese party, right? So you say, so what, Earl? We don't really care. So the Chinese have our information. They have it already. And there's a yes and there's a no there. And so it's a topic that's worth thinking about and thinking about discussion, and especially when we're talking about young people. So Temu and TikTok require all of these permissions in order to run on your phone. And so some of the permissions you would expect, like location and phone and mic, but some of the other permissions are like, where have you gone? What have you seen on your browser? What information are you looking at? And the concerning part about both of those is that why is that information needed? The second part is there's also code in both of those apps that they have found that don't require permissions that they're capturing anyway. So that's a little disconcerting. So you say to me, Earl, I don't care. Nobody at TikTok cares that I went and looked at Pinterest, and nobody cares that I did this and I did that. And you're absolutely 100% correct. But think about this for just a moment. And is it conspiracy theory or is it the truth? And that's going to be the question. And you have to figure out how powerful this information could be. So imagine that you're a young person and you're 12, 13, 14. You're on the internet, you're looking at stuff, and maybe it's stuff that you should be looking at, maybe it's stuff that you shouldn't be looking at, but you're still looking at it. And it's on your phone, and a foreign government has collected this information. Now it's a database full of information about you and you as a person. So these are things that you've done. These are, we'll call them missteps, right? That maybe you've taken as a small, as a child. Because someone who's 13, 14, 15, you don't really understand the repercussions of things that you're doing. So fast forward to you turn 18, suddenly you're in the military, and or you have a government job or something important that you are doing. You've moved into your career, but now a foreign government has this information on transgressions that you've made, and now they can use this as blackmail material against you. And while that sounds like really like pie in the sky, not going to happen to me, conspiracy theory information, it is a real world scenario that is playing out right now with both of these apps. And that's why it is on the congressional radar. And so really and truly, these two apps have people, while they're not wholly owned by a foreign government, they have people on their boards who are wholly owned by a foreign government, and that foreign government says, therefore, the data that this company collects belongs to them. So I'm just trying to bring to you some information about what we're seeing and what we're seeing in the marketplace when it comes to these apps, and why this is a concern for our government, and should be a concern for you as well when we talk about cybersecurity. Now, having said that about those particular apps, you might want to go into your apps on your device and make sure that your app has just enough permissions on your device in order to do its job. Okay, so does this app really need access to your phones and pictures, right? Does this app really need access to your location? Does this does this app really need access to your contacts, right? These are all things you should be asking yourself and giving all of these apps. Yes, these apps will say, do I want to allow permission for that? And a lot of people just click allow. You'll just click allow and you won't even think about it anymore. But it is something that you should think about. And it is something you should be cognizant of. And it is something that there's a reason it's asking you that, because they want your permission in order to get that. And the phone OS, be it iOS or Apple, Android, the reason they put that in, the reason they've made that more granular is so that you can be a lot more cognizant of what you're seeing on there. Again, if you had any questions, or if you can always reply to this chat. You'll see it online on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you might have, but it is something you should think about. But until next time, which will be right here next Thursday, this is Earl signing off for CBN Live.